Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only, Maxi here once again, and I'm back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64 for the Nintendo 64. So, last time, we still managed able to carry on exploring for the rest of the forms of Gloomy Galleon, but luckily though, I'm presuming to you that we're basically onto the halfway point right now, so hopefully once we're able to actually get into the forms of, let's just say, we're probably not going to be able to complete this world for today, but definitely the next video for sure, because I'll promise you, we will able to actually complete this world as fast as humanly possible, if depending on certain stipulations are involved. So today, for this video is the fact that we're going to be continuing exploring for the forms of Gloomy Galleon, and by this point, as you can see, we actually somehow activated the actual DK bongos, just to ensure that we were able to explore the next section on this particular ship down below. So either way though, that maybe seems the case. So, and hopefully by that time we're able to get ourselves, what else? Another golden banana, and eventually some other tons of collectibles here and there. So, everything else will be pretty much checked out as far as this is concerned. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've actually gone through, not only the banana fairies, basically, but also we somehow already obtained the forms of the, you know, the rare coin for the sake of playing Jetpack, since we are able to actually begin this world. So, anyway, so let's just go ahead and, swim for this dark room again, but except this time we're now going to be using Donkey Kong on this part, so just to ensure that we were able to find not only some more regular individual bananas right here, despite the fact that I keep on missing some of them, due to the forms of how the fact that it's been, quite a few days ago since I actually last touched this game, just because about the fact that, well, obviously I need to get used to with the swimming controls again, but hopefully by that time though, we'll pretty much guarantee we can able to actually stumble across into these kinds of parts, so... Alright, so speaking of such though, here we go back onto the forms of Crazy Kong Clamber, ever since during the forms of him Frantic Factory. Seriously, that was the last time we actually played this minigame since in the previous world. So, but this time around though, we need to hit for about 15 golden bananas instead of like, I don't know, 10 or something. Mind you, it's been a very long while since I actually just somehow managed to come back into this minigame, just because about the fact the matter is though, that we actually stumbled across into several repeated minigames every once in a while. But as far as I can recall, that whenever we get to the point until likely or so until the next world coming up, that basically though, that is when the minigame starts to get aggressively harder, as far as I'm aware, because sometimes they actually go a little bit faster when they go in a complete blackout for about a few seconds flat. So as a result though, that thankfully this one is not too shabby either, so, and we're almost there to 100 golden bananas, and I think we've only got one more golden banana left for Donkey Kong in Gloomy Galleon. That is, of course, delivering the blueprint, basically. So, hopefully everything else will be checked out there, basically. So, anyway, so a few things I want to explain while this is happening is that, well, today's day is, of course, the 30th of January today, in this case in 2023 today, and tomorrow's case that SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake is going to be releasing tomorrow for the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and you name the rest. Now I'm really looking forward to able to playing that particular game, especially noticeable because after all, that I've already completed, you know, the original Battle for Bikini Bottom on the PlayStation 2, and the remake on the PlayStation 4 version, so I highly doubt that I will be able to actually complete, you know, the Cosmic Shake on my own time before I dive right into the actual Let's Play of the game or something like that. But either way though, because chances are though that we will be able to actually stumble across into that. Well, we're probably not going to do a Let's Play immediately though, just because we don't want to get any spoiler territory for the sake of time, and I just somehow realized I somehow slipped off, so... But basically though, we've already stumbled across into the forms of that Kasplat, just to ensure that we were able to get the blueprint for Donkey Kong, and hopefully we'll deliver that to Snide until once we're done with the rest of the world. Because let me tell you, I'm already getting tired of this world, because not only because it's so confusing to navigate sometimes, like I said before, but also it's just about the fact the matter is though, you have to do a lot of slow stuff, ranging from a lot of swimming you have to involve, and on top of that, a lot of backtracking you have to pull up with. Well, thankfully we've already managed to able to actually access to every single banana pod right there. Well, I'm sure to you that once we're able to completely done with everything, then hopefully until the next world though, then it should be a little bit more easy to manage, especially because backtracking can't be that much of an issue for the next world. Well, it wasn't until later on though that things get a bit kind of, I don't know, mixed feelings about it. But either way, though, let's just go ahead and swim downwards just to double check on certain collectibles I might as well be missing on. Well, aside from those particular oranges for bombs anyway, so I don't think that's kind of important. Well, unless it will be pretty important, but either way, we found, you know, some bunch of bananas right there for Donkey Kong, so that will be a good thing to know. And there's also another reason why I prefer doing collecting the 100 bananas for each Kong, just to ensure that we're able to get enough bananas to able to actually access the next few bosses up ahead. So, but you know, you get the idea about that. But even though it might not be necessary if you really want to go after every singular banana collectible when it comes to, like, you know, the small bananas as opposed to you know, golden bananas, because golden bananas are very important. Oh, and also sort of things worth noting for is the fact that once we reach up to 100 golden bananas, then we can potentially try to able to go all the way to the final stage immediately. Well, that doesn't excuse the fact that we have to stumble across into boss fights first, because boss fights are mandatory if you want to progress, so... But either way, that might be saying something, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and switch over to Lanky Kong already, just to ensure about the fact that we can able to actually stumble across into another section. So in some cases though, we need to find the actual switch to ground pound in. So usually, relatively speaking, it's just right there, around exactly the same spot as Tiny Kong. And speaking of Tiny Kong though, I believe something tells me we need to go into that familiar ship ever since when Tiny Kong first appeared in, or to be more specifically, Tiny Kong somehow first explored in. So, and this time though is the fact that we need to go underneath instead of the actual top section. So, and of course there's still a time limit to be involved. And then once we're done with most of this stuff, during the course of a higher water leveling system, basically though we can decide to able to actually just, you know, trying to able to lower the water at some form or another at some point. But either way, let's just go ahead and get ourselves a banana medal for Lanky Kong right here. And on top of that, we'll get inside the actual Unguard the Swordfish box. And I think, unfortunately though, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing Unguard the Swordfish in action for this particular Let's Play. Because I'm sure enough though, is the fact that until when it gets to the point until, let's just say Donkey Kong Barrel Blast or Donkey Kong Jet Race, for those of you who lived in Europe, that basically though, you can temporarily able to actually use Unguard the Swordfish in certain courses, but that's not to say that the reason why we're going to be talking about it. Because, for what I've noticed, is the fact that back in new forms of the actual development cycle for the sake of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that apparently though is the fact that apparently that Unguard the Swordfish is almost returned during the course of Tropical Freeze, but then it somehow, as far as I'm aware, is the fact that Unguard just nearly made the cut in Tropical Freeze, so... Which, almost first thought they're going to be able to bring him back in that game, but of course, straight to the point, it just cuts, so... Kind of shame, honestly, but either way, though, that might be saying something as far as that's been concerned with, so... And also, I apologize for that particular very weird commentary recently, but that's only mainly because I was a little bit tired today, probably because it is still so cold recently during the forms of the weather forecast right now. At least thankfully though, it does have some sunny spells at the moment, but either way though, it's still pretty chilly as it goes by, so... Anyway, so now we've actually done with that, and also, not to mention though, I can now able to actually get myself very warm clothing I have to wear for the sake of this point today, just to ensure I can able to actually feel nice and warm and cozy on my side, so... Anyway, so now let's go in and swim through here because, well, as far as I'm aware, there's the forms of the Kasplat for, you know, Lanky Kong right there, because I can tell with that particular blue hair for, Kasplat. So, hopefully, we're able to deal with him for, in this narrow path if possible, and straight to the point, we'll get ourselves a blueprint. So, there goes. But that's not to say we're going to be able to do it with this section with Lanky Kong, because as far as I'm aware, I believe the next objective we're going to be hit into is pretty annoying sometimes. Although, it does require us to able to switch over to Chunky Kong, because something tells me that we need something heavy and strong to able to actually lift up something. So that will be the reason why we switched over to Chunky Kong on this particular next section. So... And also, in addition to that particular next challenge we have to deal with, I can definitely see the forms of that particular green banana balloon for Chunky Kong to able to actually hopefully take it down once we're able to obtain 10 more bananas for Chunky. So, thankfully that seems to be the case. And I think there are some bananas for Tiny Kong right there, which we'll try to able to get back for that at some point once we're done with this particular, the challenge objective first. So, anyway, so we'll just get rid of the Kasplat right here, and lift this particular massive cannonball, and deliver it to the cannon itself. And basically, though, that was actually a reference to something related to, Donkey Kong Country 2, by the way. Like, if you're carrying a cannonball, then basically just deliver it to the cannon itself. Except, as you can see, we need to break the targets. So basically, you have to break about 3 targets, and then obviously you only have to get like 6 accurate shots for, well, despite the fact that we have to deal with like 3 targets to destroy. And then once all the targets have been destroyed, basically, as you guessed, you get yourselves a glorious golden banana. So, but of course, we need to walk all the way back here, right next to that actual cannonball itself. So, yeah, sometimes it might be felt a bit finicky with the aiming shot, but when you get the accurate shots going, then you deal with it just fine. And as you can tell, we're now on to 99 bananas, so, or specifically 99 golden bananas, so hopefully the next one we'll be able to reach up to 100 at this point. Especially for 100 golden bananas, that will basically take you straight to the end game for almost instant. So, but anyway, before we continue things on though, let me go ahead and backtrack to the exact same area as we went to. As I said before, just to grab the remaining banana bunches for Tiny Kong right here. Well, assuming if I was trying to move the camera around. So, hopefully that might be seems the case right here. And I think that we're basically done with this area. Well, aside from those banana coins I was expecting to get. But I think we should probably be able to actually stop collecting them for a little while. Just to ensure about the fact that we actually got loads of banana coins, basically, for the sake of time, for each and every single Kong. And so, whenever we decide able to learn the next ability for them, and potentially speaking though, we can generally will able to actually save some for the later portions of this particular game for this point. So, anyway, so now we've actually done with, you know, break the target's objective. So I believe what we're supposed to do right now is the fact that we need to now lower the actual water level. So, yeah, that's what I mean about the fact that... Oh, hello. I think I see something down there, which I can assure you there's going to be some more Chunky's bananas. So, and in fact, the matter is though, yep, there they are. So, we'll Scout's able to just swim to collect them. Again, sometimes swimming can be felt a bit weird at times. But regardless of such though, it's just about the fact that it's been a very, you know, quite a few days since I've, you know, last touched this game. Because after all, by this point in time, both Mighty and Ray, the flying squirrel, they are both almost finishing up with the forms of Mario Slam Basketball before we move on to another set of Let's Plays for the weekends department. But again, we don't know exactly which ones is it going to be next. But hopefully stay tuned for what the next Let's Plays are going to be. But then again, I'm probably not going to spoil for something for you guys, because obviously time will tell. So, And I think we basically collected every single bananas at this this spot down below. So yeah, I think we'll be all set during that time. I know we can technically also do another thing for Chunky Kong, and that is something to do with that particular ship over there. But relatively speaking though, it's just about the fact that we need to focus on other things first. For something related to, like, I don't know, raising the water level? Or generally we can probably be able to, like, lower the water level. So we'll just do this. But I'm sure we're able to actually be back for that particular section for later. Once we're able to actually deal with other stuff first. To be more specifically, that we need to able to... Oh, I'm supposed to able to save that section for later, because I can assure to you that I believe Donkey Kong's bananas might be somewhere in that section, so... But don't worry, we'll be back for that, so either way, we'll just go ahead and try to able to actually go for this particular part right here to activate the triangle for Chunky Kong. And also, I was expecting to able to not only get not only the blueprint for Diddy Kong, but also say applies with that particular the banana balloon for Tiny Kong, and I'll be back for those. So I just need to take care of the forms of that particular remaining parts of the actual ship on the other side. So, and of course we actually got more time than the forms of how it does it in other Kongs, because I can assure to you, because I think Chunky Kong's switch is actually a bit further away, or in some cases though the triangle pad is actually further away from the likes of the forms of how it does on this cactus section. So, but either way, I think getting to that particular point is actually super duper easy. You have to swim downwards from there, and sure enough we're able to actually get, what else, the golden banana around here somewhere, and yeah, that everything else will be pretty much accounted for the sake of, like, certain sections throughout. So, speaking of the golden banana, there's one right over there. And let's see what minigame are we playing next. Oh, something tells me we are doing the slot machine minigame again. Hey, it's been a while since we actually experienced this minigame, since I think the last time we played this was in Frantic Factory, I'm pretty sure. And once again the music just stops playing. So, unless if the music decides to trigger, if I managed able to get this right, and sure enough, it did come back up. So anticlimactic whenever they managed able to have no music in the background at first, but then when you're able to get the actual hit from those banana chain reaction right there, then obviously the music decides to pop up right now. So still it's super weird though. And that should do it. Thankfully though, it's nothing random or anything. Sometimes you have to able to memorize the actual panels when it comes before or afterthought. So, and look at that, we reached 100 golden bananas. So potentially speaking, we're now onto, for reals, we're now onto the halfway point in terms of Donkey Kong 64. But I promise you, it's actually getting very, very, very close for that part. Although, mind you, we actually collected 100 golden bananas throughout the majority of the month, which is actually pretty cool. So I highly doubt we were able to actually get the remaining 101 golden bananas left for the actual second month, or potentially speaking, it's all depending on the forms of how lengthy certain worlds are. But I can assure you that this world is by far the longest world throughout the whole game so far. Well, especially noticeable because you obviously have to do a lot, I mean a lot of swimming in this world. I mean, sure it's a bit tedious for sure, but still. Alright, so we've only got 40 golden, what do I say golden? I meant green bananas for Chunky Kong left for 40 bananas, so... But it's just about the fact that this world has already bored me as it goes by, especially because what I've noticed is that about the fact that, well, sure enough, this world is still my least favorite world in the game, but hopefully by that time until possibly by the beginning of the next month, which appears to be February, then hopefully we're able to get this world done, and we can probably get into it. By far is my favorite world in the game, aside from that one annoying exception to that. But I'm sure enough though, most people already know what I'm talking about. But either way. Alright, so since we've now actually lowered the actual water switching and stuff like that, we can probably able to do some more stuff during that cactus area, because after all, we can now able to actually access to other musical pads. Like, after all, I'm pretty sure that we've almost done through every single, like, musical pads with every character, apart from, let's just say, for about... I don't know about you, because again, it's been about quite a few days ago since we actually got to this point. Well, after all that, we've already done for Donkey Kong, as well as Chunky Kong in the other side. So now we can able to actually get on with Diddy's guitar pad. And hopefully, once we're done with Diddy Kong, I believe we've only got Lanky Kong left, or anything else like that. So hopefully we're able to get this particular section done before we move on to the next couple of sections later. So, and as usual, we've only got about 60 seconds to able to make it find this point. So, anyway, so apart from the fact the matter is though, is the fact that there's another thing I would like to mention in regards to the forms of today's discussion. Apart from the fact the matter is though, yeah, it doesn't seem like that the Nintendo Direct is not happening in this month, but exponentially until next month, everyone is starting to able to predicting the Nintendo Direct season at this point, especially we're getting very close to February, which by that time we've only got 2 days left. So around that time though is the fact that we can highly doubt that we will definitely get ourselves the Nintendo Direct during the next month in February. Just like in the forms of how it does it in 2019, 2021, and 2022, which you know the pattern. Except with 2020, just because it's the black sheep of the forms of the Nintendo Direct's presentations in my opinion. So, but I digress. So, obviously we still got some watermelon pieces. And let's just get inside in here to do the next minigame challenge. And this time we're going back into Splish Splash Selfish. Ever since, and I think the last time we've actually experienced this minigame was actually with Tiny Kong in Jungle Japes. Except this time around though, I think there's actually a bit of a different layout to it. Like, I get the strong sense of feeling that the last DK coin that we'll hopefully try to get is by utilizing the actual swinging vine, so... that's something. So, and obviously we take control of Diddy Kong, so that basically explains it how. So, either way, we'll just, oh. Okay, so apparently though, if you ever dare touch the actual starfishes, I don't think you get disqualified if you manage to be able to get touched by the forms of those starfishes. Oh, wait a second, because I keep on thinking about the forms of that particular survival minigame where you have to keep on shooting those bad guys with all these gremlins and stuff like that in order to able to complete the actual task at hand. So maybe I keep thinking about that minigame too much, so... but there we go, we've somehow achieved it for about 1 second to accomplish. And from here, we're able to actually get ourselves the next golden banana for Diddy Kong in Gloomy Galleon. And now we're on to 101 golden bananas. So potentially, we're now on to 100 bananas left before we're able to completely done with everything in this game. So, but I'm sure enough we're still on the halfway point after all. So I can assure you that hopefully once we're able to actually to realize that we've almost collected everything in Gloomy Galleon, because once we're done with that, I'm not going to touch this world forever, because let me tell you, this world bores me. But as a result, at least the aesthetics is alright, but it's just about the fact that I'm not a big fan of the mechanic of the actual level, so... Alright, so now we're done with Diddy Kong, and now we're going to switch over to Lanky Kong again. And sure enough, there's actually another musical pad somewhere behind the actual cactus itself. And by simply we got able to play that particular instrument for him. So just to ensure that we'll open up the forms of, potentially speaking... oh, there's the actual, the pad right there I was gonna be trying to find right here. And I think, relatively speaking though, that, yeah, we're getting very close. So, well, I still need able to try to find some more green bananas for Chunky Kong, so hopefully we'll get the last banana medal in this world. So let's just go ahead and activate this, and I think this will actually be the last section on that particular ship, because as far as I'm aware, this will be the 5th and the final time experiencing that particular ship segment, as you can tell. Because obviously that we've almost done with this particular section no matter what. Although, relatively speaking, we will eventually try to able to switch back to Tiny Kong, because after all, we've already got all of the pearls on that particular clamshell section. Then hopefully we're able to actually complete that particular objective for her. Once we're able to meet up with the mermaid though, basically, so yeah, that's besides the point, so... Alright, so where is it? Oh, it's right there. Sometimes it's so hard to see in these specific camera angles sometimes. But anyway, so looks like we stumbled across those crystal coconuts for some reason. Mind you, I don't think it's probably necessary if we're able to... Oh, hello. Not only do we get ourselves one banana bunch from that particular room, but there's also another one. And we can probably find the final bunch on... Let's just say... Ah, there we go. Just onto that side. And we've done everything for Lanky Kong, except with that, well, not only for its next golden banana, but also we can pretty much guarantee we'll deliver the blueprint to Snide, eventually. So, and now we're on to 102. So, now I think we've now down to 99 golden bananas left. So, gee, things go very fast. Well, apart from a couple of exceptions, mind you, for certain parts. And I think we've done everything in this area, so we can potentially now move on to the next point. So let's just say, for instance, let me swim into the attack barrel if I would like to do that, and quickly switch over to Chunky Kong again. So just to ensure that we will be able to actually just go ahead and, well, go and do another next thing we can probably do at this point. That's, we're able to actually utilize the, I have no idea where I'm going at this point. Although, again, the actual, the structure itself might felt a bit identical to one of those sites or anything else like that. But that again, though, because there's no map function, so... But at least I'll try my best able to actually just to navigate through every single portions of the actual thing for you guys, so... Okay, so I seemed able to actually get to this point right here, right where pad number 2 was. So I think something tells me that there might be something that is very well hidden somewhere. But relatively speaking, though, I might as well be back for that. So what we're gonna do now is that since we've actually done with the actual cactus on every single musical pads, or the instrument pads for every Kong, now we can able to actually raise the water level right now, so just to ensure that we will be able to actually continue things on throughout the majority of the level like this, so... Now I think something tells me that if you do manage to able to activate the actual water leveling switches, the cutscene doesn't trigger, because it already did show us the actual cutscenes once you managed to able to activate those switches for the first time, so... Yeah, that's something worth classifying. So, anyway, so a few things I want to explain while this is happening is the fact that I completely forgot to mention to you guys something about the forms of certain stuff that's been happening. Like, for instance, about the fact the matter is, though, unfortunately, though, Disney decides to able to kill another Club Penguin services, which I know seems very sad for certain fans of Club Penguin. For those of you who do remember back in the old days of playing Club Penguin, well, despite the fact I haven't really played that much of Club Penguin, to be honest with you, just because I'm more into like Mario and Sonic and Zelda and Kirby stuff, and even Metroid series every once in a while. But it's a bit of a shame that the actual you know, the Club Penguin series is almost got to the point where it's now going to be on the actual coffin itself, with the actual dead franchises at this point right now, which again seems kind of sad for most players who ever experienced those kind of games like that. So anyway, so now we get onto the actual ship, as you can see, with the actual King K. Rool face on it. So this is the reason why we came here for Chunky Kong, and that is this particular part. So we'll ground pound this little door thingy right there, which obviously leads us to, oh god, some more cannons in the inside of the actual ship itself. And also that we got ourselves some more green bananas. And on top of that, there's another objective we can do. And that is, if you're trying to utilize this Falcon Punch, this little barrel thing, for about 5 times, then once you've done so already, then you would generally get yourselves a golden banana, right? Well, after you've obtained a golden banana though, you do realize you felt a lot weird. And as a result, your controls have been reversed. So in some cases though, it's the fact that in order able to get out of there, well, in order able to get out of this state, I should say, it's quite simply have to get out of there, and that's all you really have to do. And something tells me about the fact that this particular Chunky Kong has almost felt a bit drunk. But either way though, well, aside from the fact that your controls have been reversed, so yeah, we need to just get out of here basically before anything else happens, so. But once you dodge quite enough of those cannonballs, you will be alright, so. Let's hop into this cannon, and sure enough, we're able to actually get out of there. And something tells me, because I think we actually going to be getting inside the actual ship like it's constantly rocking all over the place. So as a result though, it might actually feel a bit seasick or something like that, so. Alright, so naturally speaking, I think the next thing we need to do is about the fact the matter is though, is the fact that, oh wait a second, I totally forgot about the forms of that particular, not only the banana balloon for the likes of Tiny Kong, but also, you know, the Kasplat enemy for Diddy Kong. So I definitely need to do those next. So, and hopefully we're able to get ourselves the final blueprint for this particular world. So, potentially speaking though, well, first of all though, we need to quickly switch over to Tiny Kong first, just to ensure that we will be able to actually deliver the pearls back to the mermaid first. So we'll generally try to able to actually deal with that. And by simply going out able to turn into like mini monkey form, just like last time. Well, usually, because ever since whenever we first got to the actual the mermaid's room, so yeah, we can probably deal with that. So yeah, as I said, once you're able to deliver the 5 pearls to the mermaid, then sure enough, it'll give you a nice reward, which is of course the golden banana. So how about that? But yeah, everything else will go pretty cool and substantial at the same time when it comes to progressioning for this world, guys. I mean, sure, it does take a very long time to able to complete this world at this point, especially because of all that, you know, tedium involved with all that constant water leveling. Well, at least we didn't do that much water leveling compared to the forms of how it does it in the forms of in certain N64 games. I'm looking at you, Water Temple, from the Ocarina of Time game, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I should say. And on top of that, the Majora's Mask, the Great Bay Temple, which, honestly, those two temples sucks, respectively, within that, in the exact same console as far as that's been concerned with. But still, I can't deny by that, especially considering about the fact that, well, it's been a very long while since I actually last touched upon those two games on, well, at least I've already completed them on the 3DS remake, which I still highly recommend them both, but I haven't played the N64 version for some time, especially after, like, you know, experiencing, you know, Breath of the Wild a lot just before, you know, Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be coming out, so. But either way, though, that might be saying something as far as, you know, that's been concerned with, so. So anyways, let's deal with him, and there we go, we got ourselves the final blueprint for Gloomy Galleon, so that should be all good for my progressioning for the sake of points, so. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and save our game, thanks to DK's okay voice quote right there. So, that's all pretty swell if I have to say so. Oh, and another thing too, is the fact that since I've managed able to go back into Mario Kart Tour again, but it's just about the fact the matter is though, there was one thing I completely forgot to mention about, in terms of the forms of the actual Winter Tour I'm actually into right now. For some reason, I'm having a bad luck on the phones of that particular tour so far. Especially concerning about the fact that, remember I mentioned this before? About the fact that unfortunately though, that orange Birdo is locked out behind the tier system. Well, unfortunately though, there's no way I can get that character, which is kind of unfortunate and sucks at the same time, just because I'm seriously so sick of the phones of that stupid tier system, which as a result, it just gives me some stupid unlucky moments, which, sure enough though, that might be seems the case. So anyways, we now ended up in the Snipes HQ at the moment, just to ensure that not only we can able to deliver certain blueprints for Snipe, just like before, but also we can able to expect that we're able to get some golden bananas potentially, so... But as I said before, that I'm probably not going to be able to complete this world in this video, but definitely in the next video for sure. Just to want to get this out of the way, just before the new month is about to be on the horizon, just around the corner. So, by that time, that we've only just got about, I would say that we've only got about 25 days to go until Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is going to be releasing on a Nintendo Switch. So, yeah, I'm still very excited and hyped about the game as well. So just to ensure that not only I can replay this amazing game again, but also experiencing the actual past sub-games in the past Kirby games, but this time in full HD experience, with, you know, with the graphical overhaul, so... And something tells me, with that particular Snipes HQ contraption in this world, it appears to be activating the actual, the boxing gloves coming out of the actual trapdoor, and that's basically how this goes, so... And something tells me that I've actually got every single bananas for Donkey Kong in Gloomy Galleon, so it's not too far from here, almost right near to the boss portal, so I'm afraid to tell you we're going to end off this point right here, so join me next time for more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64. We can hopefully finally finishing up with Gloomy Galleon by completing the last few bits and bobs, and deal with the next boss as well, so I'll see you guys until on Wednesday. Later fellas.